welcome to Rocks for Brains. My name is Lauren, and guess what? I got a flat lap machine! This is so cool. I've got a bucket of rocks here. Some things that I just want to polish the other side of, this piece of petrified wood. I want to shape and polish the agate that I got at Burrow Creek, Lake Superior agate that I bought, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I've set it up, I have tested it a little bit. It works pretty well. We're gonna see if I can get these things all shined up. This is a learning process. I have some materials for cabbing on the way, some dop sticks, but right now I'm just going to do it all by hand. So let's get started. So this little cup here on top has the water in it, and you adjust the flow onto the cutting wheel, and you just need, you know, a couple of drops actually to make it wet, and once it starts spinning, the water spins out onto the whole thing, and that keeps the dust from flying around, the rock dust from flying around, but it also helps to grind the rocks out because the water kind of washes away the material as you're grinding it. Oh man, this is gonna be so awesome. I just shaped this little piece up. It's still pretty rough, and that's okay. I kind of like that it has these little imperfections in it. It was roughly the shape already, and I just evened it up to make, I don't know, I don't even know what kind of shape that is. Some kind of a drop. And yeah, this machine works fantastic. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be able to actually make stuff, and maybe I can have a store at some point so that I can fund my rock hounding adventures in the future. So much fun. Well, that worked pretty well. I was able to shape some of the rough stones that I had into kind of like a cabochon shape. And, you know, I was not necessarily going into each one knowing what shape they were going to be. I first just smoothed out the rough spots, and then as I was doing that, decided what shape would look best, and then rounded it out and kind of made them uniform. This one was already a flat piece that was cut, flat agate, and kind of made it into a little teardrop shape. And I did grind down both sides of this a little bit accidentally, so we'll have to polish both. And then the agate turned out really cool. And all I did with this one was to smooth out all the rough spots, and as I was smoothing out the rough spots, it just took its own shape. So we'll see if I can get that whole thing polished up pretty well. But there's definitely some beautiful fortifications in there, in different colors. That one's too big for the tumbler anyway, so I'm glad that I can do it this way now. Well, let's go to the next stages, the next different pads, and progressively get to the polish stage. So I've moved on now to the 325 grit wheel, and what's cool is you can actually very easily tell which parts of the stone have taken the scratches out from the coarser grit and then are a little smoother from the 325. So, you know, these rough spots where you can see the really big scratches. So all I have to do is just keep kind of going around and then drying it off and seeing if those scratches are still on there. And if they are, like right there, I know that I have to go back over it. Because, I mean, I know this from hand polishing things, if you don't take the bigger scratches out before you move on to the next step, you have to go backwards and do it all over again. Because it won't polish if those scratches are still in there. Pretty cool though so far. Alright, so far so good. We've got all of the different grits of the pads, and they're really shiny already. That one's looking really nice. So now I have left is to polish. And put the polish pad on there. Let's see if we can get them really, really shiny. I did actually clean out the machine before I did that because you don't need any water for the polish. And this way at least it's clean and I don't have to do it afterwards. Wow. Look at how shiny these things are. It's so cool. The shapes are not perfect. You know, that's okay. When I get the top sticks, I think that'll make it a little easier. But still, I mean, considering this is the first time I've ever done this, they came out really well. I still like the fact that this has, you know, some imperfections in it. It's kind of that rustic look. And this one, I left the back pretty rough, but the front is just rounded on the top. And this was a fire agate chunk that, you know, it's not the best example. And so I wasn't too afraid about messing things up because I was practicing. This came out really well. Super excited about that. Some awesome banding and different patterns in here. And I was able to keep most of the rock shape actually. I didn't have to grind down that much. Very cool. All right. Well, first practice on the flat lap machine turned out pretty good. I look a little weird because I was wearing a respirator and so my face is all red and I'm a little tired, but it was a lot of fun. And you know, just like I try to do all the time, learning new things every day. And I think the only other thing to say is cue that close-up montage. Bye, everybody.